is a naturally occurring copper peptide. GHK-Cu is a naturally occurring copper peptide that signals the body to repair tissue and produce collagen. That biological process conflicts with the timeline of standard cosmetics. When the weeks pass without a visible change, users start to worry. They wonder if the product is fake, if their method is wrong, or if they simply haven't waited long enough. Judging a deep cellular repair cycle using the measuring stick of a superficial skin cream leads to false conclusions. Deciding to invest in this peptide requires unlearning cosmetic expectations and mapping out the true biological progression. Traditional cosmetic treatments, like dermal fillers or hair fibers, rely on masking physical issues. You inject or apply, and the visual gap is filled. This chart shows how GHK-Cu differs. While a cosmetic intervention spikes and then fades, the GHK-Cu line stays low for a long duration while the body remodels tissue, only curving upward as those changes compound. Choosing this biological approach involves a waiting period where you must maintain consistency despite seeing no progress on the surface. Skin rejuvenation can take up to 12 weeks to manifest, and hair restoration often requires a 6-month commitment. To understand if the investment is worth it, we need to look past the hype and map exactly what is happening under the skin at week 2, week 6, and month 4. Understanding this hidden biological timeline is the primary way to push through the frustration phase and reach an authentic result. Phase 1 covers the first 6 weeks of consistent daily application. This matrix tracks the first 6 weeks. Collagen and follicle activation stay flat, but the plunging line shows a drop in inflammation as repair genes are signaled. On the surface, you'll see zero cosmetic change. In hair protocols, expect a period of early shedding. This occurs as dormant, weak hair follicles reset. They push out old strands to prepare for a new growth phase. This specific window is a common trap. You've spent money and put in the effort, but you may see shedding right before the turnaround begins. Navigating Phase 1 requires trust in the biological reality that temporary regression is often the first step of cellular repair. Phase 2 covers weeks 6 through 12, requiring you to sustain the protocol past 2 months. At this point, the peptide signaling reaches a threshold. Fibroblasts activate, weaving new molecular strands together as your body generates its own collagen. That cellular activity finally reaches the surface. You'll notice a textural shift, smoother skin, and the early fading of fine lines. For those treating damaged tissue or acne scars, this is when the area begins to soften and take on a more uniform appearance. If you want the tight, frozen look of Botox, you will likely be disappointed. This peptide focuses on structural health, not temporary paralysis. Improvements in Phase 2 appear gradually as the skin structure strengthens over several weeks. These physical improvements look like natural regeneration because that is what happens at the cellular level. Phase 3 represents month 3 through month 6 and beyond. This is the authentic after state. On our matrix, biological markers now peak. Long-term collagen remodeling is established, and dormant follicles reach their strongest density. Maintaining this requires long-term integration. The peptide needs a healthy biological environment, supported by sleep and nutrition, to continue its work. A successful 6-month protocol results in a healthier, more youthful version of your original baseline. You won't look like a different, synthetically altered person. The outcome is a version of yourself where skin and hair follicles function with higher efficiency. That final after image is the tangible record of 6 months spent signaling the body to repair itself. The ability of GHK-Cu to remodel tissue is strictly dependent on the user's patience. This divides potential users into 2 groups. The first group consists of those seeking an immediate cosmetic change for an upcoming event. If you need the immediate volume replacement of a dermal filler, you should avoid GHK-Cu. It will not meet your timeline. This scorecard shows the second group, the regenerative baseline seeker. This group is a strong fit. They are willing to commit to months of consistency to remodel damaged tissue at the cellular level. Authentic physical transformation requires months of sustained biological signaling. If you can provide that time, the results will eventually follow.